This episode, we're going to take those cheaper 60s, 70s, 80s passenger cars. You know the ones, AHMs, River Rossies, IHCs. I'm going to show you how to tune them up and make them run like a $100 Proto. Yeah! Hello, I'm Ron with Classic Model Trains. I've had these UP River Rossies. They've been hanging out for a couple years now. Broken couplers and couplers mounted up wrong, and I couldn't connect them all together because and I finally got around to getting it done. I'm going to show you guys what we need to do to make these things, update them all to Kadees, get the weights proper, and get them taken apart completely so you can get in there and scrub them up. Follow along, show you how. This thing is absolutely filthy. It looks like, I don't know, it's like it's got food all over it, like a pumpkin exploded beside it, or I don't know, maybe you were feeding the cows and the silage got all over it, but I mean it's bad. Pop these trucks off because they need to get into the ultrasonic cleaner. I'm going to use the side cutter and just gently get in here. I'm not honking on it or nothing. I'm just using it to grab this pin right here. That's what gets these trucks out of the way. Another one right over here. Get underneath of it. Gently pop it up. Oh, yep. That's what they look like when they're not broken. It's got like, there's something sticky down here in this corner that's kind of holding this whole nightmare together. I've never seen one so bad. I never came in like this, and I've just been ignoring it for the last 2 years. Honest, this is like some of the first stuff I bought when I got back into the hobby. Gently, yes, no. It's like somebody spilled a soda pop on it. Oh God, why do I always get the dirty ones? Jeez, what is that? Well, it's nice that it's got, upper seats in that Vista Dome. Yes, this pops out, sure. So this here, yeah, toothbrush, Dawn dish soap, warm running water, and get that scub off of this body. I think I might cut a communicable off of it. I'm not sure. Where's my rubbing alcohol? The scrub brushing. Oh, did it bring this thing right back around? It is nice now. You can actually see through the windows and whatnot. Now this is the only car that the bottom comes out of. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to focus on the trucks. And we are going to put in some Kadee number 508s. It's the coupler conversion bolster just for these River Rossi 4-wheel trucks. This is only the 4 wheels. Now if you've got 6, then you need a different one. I pulled out these instructions and they start over here, and that's a lot of words. And then it goes through here and over here. I mean, goodness God, there's just a lot of words to do this. I'm just going to try to shorten that up for you right now. Now, these here are just fine to me. Half the cars don't have them, or they're broken off, and you certainly can't get new ones. That's why you got to convert them and update them to stuff. These will just simply pull. Here, let me get this wheel out of the way here. Show you something. See that? Oh, I've spilled this thing 9 times now. This guy right here, he's just gonna pop out. So this little plastic spring here, they get tired because this, here over here, and that's why they're kind of loose and they're kind of floppy and stuff. There's this bolster pin right there. He's fired. He's got to go away. So you're gonna come in with one of these here wedge. Not this exact knife, this one. And you're gonna come in there and you're gonna carve that little bolster out of there very carefully. Yes. Oh, clean up this backside just a little bit. Clean up this top side some, just to get that out of the way. And then up on the top here, I'm gonna get this camera zoomed in real good. There's this little nibbin sticking out right over here, and this little nibbin sticking out right over there. Well, they have to go away. So the reason is these show up like this. Once you take them all apart and you clean up what you got to clean up on them, this is actually going to end up being shoved in there underneath that. So those nibbins are holding this whole process from taking shape. So we got to cut those out. They got to go away. They're fired too. There's downsizing going on this job, and we don't need as much labor anymore. One there, do the same over here. I'm probably going about this bad. It's good thing this plastic isn't brittle because it would have broken my hands. I got one of these little square files right here, and I use it to clean up this neck of the woods where we just cut those little nibbins out at. We got to widen it up enough to get this guy to fit in there. He's got to go in. On top of this, you can see that there's just some, they're calling them bosses in the instructions over there. These little lines. Now these are used because these cars, they come with wheels that are not the correct size wheels. They're supposed to be 36-inch diameter wheels, and these are not. If you put a 36-inch diameter wheel in, this is going to lift this up from the track a little bit more, and these little bosses are on here so that it will lower this coupler pocket down to compensate for the new wheels being put in so that everything will be at the right level. And then the directions also go on to say that this only on some cars and the newer production ones, and the newer being, I don't know what, 90s or something. You got me. I couldn't get them to fit in here with those little bosses on. So they've got to get cut off also. This looks like something that you'd lose a fingernail on. Get her kind of close, then I'm going to file it to make sure that it's all level and even Steven. Now that thing slides in there like nobody's dream. Now they're nice enough to go with these number 5s on here. So they want you to build the coupler in its little upside down state here. So put this centering spring in on the lid, and then you put this guy in, and it's going to be hanging upside down. And then you're going to come by and put this guy in the upside down. And then they give you this the tiniest screw ever, that little guy. And he has to go in and hold this whole thing together through this little hole. And they only give you 2 of these screws in this package. So once you lose this one, then your job is shut down. So this whole unit, it's built and it's going to look like this. Yeah, oh sure, yeah, yep. So then when we go to put it in, it's going to look like this. But you come in from the bottom side, and there's also a hole down here that allows just that little bit of adjustment that a guy's going to want to have. Here the directions say we got to use a number 56 drill bit. Well, I had to go onto the Google machine. I come to find out that a number 56 drill bit is 0.0465 of an inch. And so I got one of these cheapy $20 digital calipers, and I rooted through the end of my pin vise here to find the things. That's not it. Damn, I did have it earlier. Then I set up the shot and I lost it. There it is, 0.0465. Funny thing is that you can do this a lot, and you keep getting different measurements because, what's $20 actually get a guy nowadays, huh? I would have bought an $80 one if I could have found it. I'm going to put these drill bits back in the end here because if I don't, then I won't, and then I'll lose them. So we're going to end up drilling the hole right in this area here because I was eyeballing this, and it goes in far enough and it stops, and it's got to come out some, and there is, some adjustment there. So we're just going to do it right there. And it says, use this as a guide so that way you get it kind of right. I mean, we're not building the space shuttle here, but I think the key part is, center. I wish that was more centered. I'd have been more happier. Then they give you another little tiny screw. These people with these little screws, I tell you. Then you get a fight to get it in there. Yes? No. Yo, boop, boop, yeah. Give it a little snug in there. Now these pins that hold these bolsters on, in order to do the final setting, the final trim on that, you gotta have it installed. Push that in, and they say that you wanna have the pin of the coupler, so they've even got a drawing of it. See that right there? There's the pin of the coupler right underneath that door sill that's sticking out. Best I can tell, I think I got it. So that is where that coupler will end up mounting. But these trucks, I think they're ugly looking like that. I wonder if they should be silver. I should Google it and find out. Look at the prototype. Yep, looked it up. Here's the picture I found right here. And those are silver trucks. They are gorgeous. So what I'm gonna do is we're gonna spray paint these because, silver, it looks a lot better than that. These are not going to be, they're going to be black. So to set these aside, we're going to prep these trucks and give them a These have been washed up. When I washed up the body, spray paint them, I will be able to assemble this thing. Yep. Are you keeping it safe? Huh? Is everything safe? When's the last time you did a patrol? Ooh, I should have taped those down. My goodness, I about lost them. Still about ready to lose them. Dang it. Wait a little bit, flip them over, do the bottoms. I wanted to show you something on this car right here. I bought these things and they were piecemeal together. It wasn't a complete set that I bought. This one showed up and it had been, they put the Kadees on the car end is what I'm trying to get out of my mouth. And it's already got the metal wheels on it, which is nice. And it seems to weigh a little bit more than it should. And I don't know how they did it because I can't get into it. But you can't see through the windows. Anyway, when this is mounted on the car end and then the other one's coupled up over here, and then when these things go around a radius and these don't line up, and then it just it uncouples and then it falls over, and there it is on the end. Ask me how I know this. So I thought it was my 22-inch radiuses, and kind of one of the reasons why I built this new layout is so I could have a 32-inch radius, and that wouldn't happen anymore. And the day that I got the layout powered and I put these on there and I drove them around and it's still disconnected, and just this is the only car. The other ones, they're updated correctly. We are going to take this back. We're going to go away and we're going to put these on it so they look like this and they swing off the truck. And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. These don't, no. Unless you've got 6-foot radiuses, then it would be fine, I guess. One really poor thing, I mean, it works. This person just stacked up, what is that, paper? Is it paper? I don't need, we're gonna find out. This gentleman made shims that look like this. That was under there. It wouldn't have been bad, but it was just done so poorly. That's kind of my point there. Ah, see, and it was glued. That's why it was so hard to get out. Yep. Don't do that unless you've got really large radiuses. Well, look at that. I wanted in this car so bad, and I seen it was a little loose on this end, so I started to pull up, and the top started folding out. And then I see that there's these tabs down here, and you get these tabs, you know, they push in, and then you can gently, easy, get this roof to come out. While I continue to gently try to do this. So yeah, I'm glad to see that they're not glued together. That way a guy can get in there. Yeah, oh, that's why it weighs. I can't see through it. They modified it like this. This is supposed to be a sleeper car. I don't think I like that in there because I didn't do it. Somebody else's work. And I think it's done poorly. Get that out of there and get these chunks of whatever that is, depleted uranium, out of the thing. God, Jesus. It took me a little while how to figure out how to get these other cars taken apart. The Vistadome came apart right away. But, you know, the other ones, I had to root around in there for a little bit. Figured it out though, so now we can really get in there, give them a good scrubbing and a good wash. When I wash these cars with the toothbrush and the Dawn dish soap and rinse them off and then they air dry, then there's stuff left on the windows, water spots. You know, from the municipal water system tells me that water's good to drink, but man, does it leave stuff behind that make, you know, this stuff here it's a Norwex. That's this fancy newfangled chamois that they make now. I guess when they make a Norwex, they don't have to go murder baby seals or, I don't know, skin an eagle or whatever they made chamois out of back in the old days, because they sure worked good, but God, they were expensive and you just can't find them now. So this Norwex, they're one of them places where they're like Avon. You got to find a Norwex person to get some Norwex from. But they really work good. Now that all these things, they're completely washed and dried and shining through, and well, I decided not to let these things blow all over the board. So I took some tape and stuck it on upside down so the sticky side is up. Stuck these to it best I can. Any help I can get will be beneficial. So I can spray paint these and make them silver. Washed them. Gave them a little dry with this hair dryer here that the little lady hasn't been able to find for a couple years now. Plugged it into the lightest extension cord I could possibly find, so I could warm up the room as well as warm up the trucks. There's a chance I got a little close to this one and melted it some. Just unbelievable. We'll find out when we go to reassemble. So yeah, set it on low. Don't put it on high, because you can warm these right up and just ugh. I'm using this fancy stuff right here down at the hardware store. And because it says it's for metallic aluminum, and it says it bonds to plastic. So that's what makes me the happiest. Give these things a couple coats, flip them upside down, do it again, and then the assembly begins. Now that we've got our trucks all painted up, looking really nice, and the couplers remounted back on there and adjusted, we got to go into these wheels. Common knowledge that the IHCs and River Aussies and AHMs, they all used smaller diameter wheels than they should have. So this one here measures out at 0.3660. Well, that ain't right. We know that. I'm going to put on some of these here fancy Intermountain 36-inch wheel sets. Now, 36-inch wheel, get these out here. If you do the inverse, 36s divide by 87 means that it would be a 0.413 wheel. We put our cheapy caliper on here, and well, here, I'll do it 9 times until I get what I want. Now this truck here has been modified. It doesn't have any brake shoes on it. So if yours has got brake shoes, you might have to cut the brake shoes back some in order to get them to fit, or cut them off. Looks like somebody did that with these, or they break off because this has been around for 55 years. Oh yeah, holy moly. Now we got to check it for coupler height. How close are we? How not close are we? Oh, we're kind of tall, but I can see that it's bending up a little. I don't know why they got to do that. I'm going to try to give it a tiny bit down, some down. Sure. Now that's what I like right there. Get over here and snap this back onto our body. I got my fancy scale set up here to see how much these are supposed to weigh. I'm in pounds and ounces. Sometimes I do this on fluid ounces, and it just doesn't work so much. But we also got to make sure that we're measuring it with the body weight too. And look at that, we're at 4 ounces. So it needs 2 3/4 more ounces added to it. 1/4 ounce, 1, 2. These are light. So you want to have the weight, because it's going to be over the trucks. It's the best place for it. And this doesn't work well if you have interiors in it. I guess you'd have to hang it on the roof up here, which would make it really top heavy. So we get all that in, set the weight of our body, just so we're getting the same. Well, now we're only at 6.3. 6.6, yeah, I'll buy that. So I had to add that much weight to this thing to get her in line, get it in the park. Oh, here's where I lost that one at right there. So I'm gonna get these stuck down in there, because we don't want this going on. Nope. 3 more additional ounces in that thing. Hi, my. There's a notch right there. There's a timing notch for which direction you put the seats in. It only goes in one way. So you face forward on the short roof. Yeah, so we put this car get it all back together. Pin just comes out right underneath there. Yeah, rolls like a dream. Coming in at 6 3/4 ounce, maybe, because this only does tenths. But yeah, that car there is done. Now I've only got 4 more to knock out. We can run them around on the track. They look a lot better. They feel better too. Yes. All these longer cars, they were all easy. That 508 Kadee kit fit right on there like a dream. That dang RPO car, the railroad post office car, man, it needed a little extra massage into it. So I'll show you what I did, because we had to get this video done. I couldn't order any more parts. We're doing it. So I'll show you what I did. A little bit of a modification to get the 508s to work on this shorter RPO. I'm just going along assembling these trucks and happy as a guy can be, and I get done, and look at this coupler. It's hanging out there flopping in the wind, and these 508 kits, and you know the directions say that it's supposed to work, and we're at production time crunch here. So what I did over on this side, you can see that the black coupler is significantly smaller. So what I did is I cut the coupler right across the back right here, because I need that extra. I need that 3/8 of an inch. I need that 1/4 inch right there, and I need this 1/8 inch right there. And you can see that this screw is screwed in, you know, way far forward. And if we go to the other side, you can see that it's glued into this truck frame support right here. So we just take the screw out, and instead of that hole being right there, I drilled it in right there. And I just shortened this up. I did it kind of just get on here and just the side cutters, and I just and here we go again, just shot. Yep. So now, once I drill that new fresh hole, it's gonna be back, and then the coupler's up underneath here where it belongs, and everything's gonna be beautiful. When you're putting these in, they'll only go in one way. You see this hole right here? It's right there. See this? It's right here, right here. That's where these lock tabs go in. And if you try to put it in backwards, you'll see that the lock tabs, it won't line up there in the center. They have thought of everything on these. I'm telling you what. Every single car, I needed to add 3 more ounces to it. Push it in straight, keep it straight, level, flat with the world. Pop it, pop it, pop it. Yep. See? Oh, easy, easy. These things are easy to work on, I tell you. Let's see what it looks like on the track. I've been working on these things like all week. You know, a little here, a little there, and do so. Now it's finally come time to run them on the track. Get it out here and show you on the layout. A lot of people keep asking for a layout update. Well, I haven't got the layout like updated enough to make a full video on an update. So you'll see it in the background in this here video a little bit. You can kind of see what's going on, but I still got more stuff I gotta add to it. A lot of guys say that they want to hear these things run instead of me playing the music over them. Well, okay, yeah. So, but the little music makes it a little, you know. So I lowered the music down a little bit. Did you a favor too. Pulled out that old $15 Tyco Pacific that I put $150 worth of DCC and sound in it. You know, it's going to be like my little excursion train that I've got here, because I haven't got the locomotive done for this set. So, little fun there. Hope you guys enjoy it.